Yeah, I was going to say bear markets are the place where people make their money, right? I mean, this is where it's not when you're buying at 65 or 69,000 on Bitcoin where your risk reward is horrendous. It's when the market is decimated and you're getting an asset that has major future value at such discounted levels. So, I mean, always remember that bear markets, if you know how to trade them, it's better than anything in the world in terms of generating money.
Despite the FTX collapse, Bitcoin gained momentum, reaching a 7-day high of $18,320 on December 14th as the bulls looked to gain control. But the FUD surrounding CZ and Binance appears to be the catalyst for Bitcoin retracing, as it currently trades for $16,754, down 2% in the past 7 days. The question marks and negative narrative around Binance throughout the week caused a run on the bank, creating an outflow of at least $6 billion. Some estimate to be $10 billion from its platform, which Binance successfully handled. Still, there are concerns in the overall crypto market, as many believe there's more damage to be done. Investor Gareth Soloway is one who shares that view. As a guest on Crypto Banter, Soloway stressed that the indicators are suggesting that the market has not reached the low just yet. From an analytical viewpoint, Gareth shows how the graphs are suggesting a 9K Bitcoin. But from an emotional viewpoint, Gareth believes that the overall sentiment and the reactions from the market haven't reached peak fear yet. Gareth believes more pain is to come, as people on social media are calling for the low to be in with every $100 uptick. In Gareth's estimate, when the market is completely quiet, stunned, and people are saying Bitcoin will be gone in a year, that is when the real low is in. And if you can emotionally stay in the market at that moment, Gareth believes it's an opportunity of a lifetime, if you know how to take advantage. Let's listen to what Gareth has to say.
So one of the things I'm keeping an eye on is that you can clearly see that the current price of Bitcoin is still below that June low right there of support, right? So we know that this is a drop. So this is technically a bearish inside bar pattern, bearish flaggish in spirit of bear flag. And it hasn't even been able to regain the price point from June. So for me, that's a major issue short term for Bitcoin. I still think we could go up and touch that line, but that'll be a level that I'm watching closely. Overall, I continue to be in the camp where this area down here, which I think is right around your 14,000, 13, 14 area here, 14, this is going to be a big level as well. And I do think eventually we retest that level on the downside. Now, for me, I kind of took it a step further when I was analyzing like where Bitcoin could bottom. I've been doing a lot of research because everyone wants to know where could Bitcoin bottom. And obviously, please keep in mind that this is just an opinion based on charting and history. But for me, I basically took FTX's fiasco and I likened it to the Lehman Brothers collapse in the stock market. And this is where my stock education kind of comes in, where I can bring these things out that I went through as a trader and kind of use them. And so when Lehman Brothers collapsed, it was a bank. They took on too much leverage. They did some stuff they shouldn't have. And eventually they failed. From that point, the stock market dropped 45% more till the March low of 2009, and it took about 5 to 6 months. So if FTX is kind of that scenario for the crypto markets, it puts the bottom on Bitcoin somewhere in I would say the May to June period, right? That 5-6 months out from now. Period. And it probably puts us right around the $10,000 to $9,000 range. The reason I like 10,000 in terms of a break point and thinking that we could break that on Bitcoin is simply that that's going to be where max pain is probably initiated for most crypto investors. So we know psychologically, investors probably will put stops at 10,000. We know that psychologically that's going to be like, oh my goodness, if Bitcoin ever breaks 10,000, it's going to be a fiasco. Everyone's going to freak out about it, which oftentimes can be the marker of a low in a chart or in an asset. I mean, there's no doubt that you haven't reached that and the reason you can tell that is because you still see people posting on Twitter and stuff like that. Oh, the low is in. I mean, here we go. And every $100 uptick in Bitcoin, it seems like that's kind of the thing that people are saying. And the key to bottoms is when people are just like, it's like crickets, right? Everyone's just depressed. No one's saying anything positive. You even get people saying that Bitcoin will not be here in a year or two. I mean, that's really the marker. And by the way, that's again the psychological side that all of us that are education fiends for crypto or anything, you have to be ready to withstand. You go back to your thesis and you say, is my thesis still valid even when I'm saying this? Because it's going to make people, even like myself, question myself. And you have to be strong enough to just say, no, this is the thesis. This is what happens in bear markets. Let's withstand it and let's look for that reversal. I was just going to add one more thing too, is that just keep in mind that one of the keys to withstanding the emotional pressure of like a bear market is make sure not to over allocate funds, right? So the biggest thing is when you put a small amount of money into an asset, and let's say you start buying a little Bitcoin, you dangle into it a little bit. You have to remember that if you put too much money in, when that asset goes against you, you're going to react emotionally because you're uncomfortable having invested so much. So it's very important to kind of decide ahead of time for each trade, what's your comfort level? If you have a full position of Bitcoin, are you going to be comfortable if it goes to 9,000? Because again, the market will figure out, and just some amazing way it does this, it knows how to attack you if you over allocate funds, and it will make you do the wrong thing at the wrong time. And again, this is where the risk reward factors in, right? So let's say Bitcoin goes to $9,000. You're basically, your reward here is about $8,000. Versus if it starts squeezing up, you could lose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. So I think that, again, this is a great example where people are trying to chase, and chasing is the worst thing you can do. And I always like to use the analogy of like, for some reason, investors, they're willing to like pay higher prices, or in the case of shorting, pay lower prices. But like when we go to the mall to buy some jeans or a pair of shoes, we don't go to the mall and, we see it on sale at $100 one week, and then the next week it's $500 for that same pair of jeans. We don't go, oh my God, I got to buy 10 pair of jeans. Like you say, true. No, like let me wait for this thing, So that's the same thought process. You have to translate what we do at the shopping centers and the stores into your trading. It should be the same mindset. You're looking for deals. You're looking for sales.
To watch the full video, check out the link in the description. What do you think of Garrett's thoughts here? Do you agree with his estimation of when the real bottom will occur?